So, a lot of people have said to me recently about why I started martial arts, and so I thought I'd make a little video about the reason behind it and what I've been doing in the last 23 years. So, originally, it came about, we all watch, or people of my age, 48, watch martial arts, grew up with Bruce Lee, grew up with Jean-Claude Van Damme in the 80s. I left high school in 91. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Arnie, Stallone. So real martial artists, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Lee, and Steven Seagal. Loved them. Obviously, Bruce Lee was the number one for us. That's what we were always watching. And obviously with bits of Jean-Claude Van Damme in there, and late 80s, early 90s, leaving high school, it was all Steven Seagal because that was new. Nobody had ever seen anything like that before. It was always Bruce Lee with his kung fu, or Jean-Claude Van Damme with karate, things like that. So, fast forward from 91, nothing. Still like watching martial arts movies. When was it? 1999. I just left college and I was in a bar near where I grew up. And on a busy Friday or Saturday night, and there was an altercation. The people I was with were from out of town, and some locals started on them. And there was a bit of tension going on there. And next minute, somebody, so I fell on the floor, got up again. And I think I got hit again. So I got hit twice, maybe. Nothing damaged, only my pride. And after that, maybe the day after, I thought to myself, I felt vulnerable, and I didn't want to feel vulnerable again. And I was then moving to another part of the country, the UK, obviously, and thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to learn self-defense, or I'm going to learn some sort of martial art. And the Steven Seagal thing had been playing on my mind for a little bit, because he was tall like me and my kind of build. He's not my kind of build anymore, but he was then. And it was different, it was a lot different to what we were used to. So I moved to this new area of the UK, and within a couple of weeks, picked up the Yellow Pages. I found Aikido, because that's what I was looking for. And I gave somebody a call, and they practiced in a police station. So I wasn't able to go because you need to be security cleared to practice in the police station. So he said, call my instructor. And I called his instructor, and that then started me on the journey of Aikido. And that was in October 2000. So, yeah, that was my first. Me and my brother done judo when we were 9, 10, I think. Done it for a little bit, and couldn't get into it. So that was the only martial art I'd ever practiced up until that point. So 2000, started to practice in earnest. At first, I think I didn't really know what it was about. Just kind of was learning. It was this, joint locks and throws and things of that nature. There was no kicking. There was no punching. There was attacks. But, there was no kicking or punching. It was the emphasis of Aikido, and depends who you speak to and what teacher you're taught by, is purely self-defense. And that's what it is. it was taught as a defensive martial art. You know, use the person's energy against them and wait till you're attacked and all this kind of jazz. Which it is, but it is a lot more to that. And obviously after 23 years, I can talk to that a little bit more than I could do then. Because I know 23 years worth of knowledge now compared to then. But yeah, I just remember at first it was, being thrown on the floor a lot. So you were getting up and then being thrown on the floor again. And it was kind of what's going on here. But yeah, got used to it. Taught to fall correctly, like in judo. A break fall, it's called. So you're safely able to fall, which is beneficial even if you're not learning how to fight, learning how to fall. So if you ever fall over, you shouldn't hurt yourself as much. So, 2000. So you start as a 6th Q, which is a white belt, and different martial artists or different martial arts, you'll see different coloured belts: yellow, orange, green, blue, brown, black, that kind of thing. And the style of Aikido that I learned initially and still practice is based on an instructor called Chiba, TK Chiba, who was one of the early pioneers who taught Aikido in the UK, and my instructor was taught by him directly. So there's no coloured belts. That's the traditional system in Japan. You get a white belt and you keep a white belt until you get to black belt. The difference being every time you pass a level, which in the other martial arts would have been a yellow, an orange, a green belt, you get a certificate. So you get a certificate, not a coloured belt. And the idea behind that is a coloured belt is an ego thing, I think. I heard that before. So if I've got an orange belt and you've got a white belt, I think I'm better than you, So that went on until 2006. I keep forgetting to look the wrong way on this phone. I've got to look over here because it's on landscape mode. That went on for 6 years. And we took a black belt test and passed that. And I was very lucky, along the way, there's 6 levels. So you start at 6 Q and you go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, black belt. And then you count up. 1st degree black belt, 2nd degree, 3rd, 4th, so on and so forth. So, it took me 6 years to get to black belt. And practice with lots of different people along the way. It was people that I practiced with when I first started, who are no longer practicing. And lots of new people joined along the way too. And I went to different seminars in the UK. And went to seminars with Japanese instructors and English instructors. And it was very, very good. Very, very good. So, got to black belt in 2006. Continued to practice until the end of 2009. And then I moved to New York. And then I practiced sporadically for a year or so. And came back to the UK for just over a year after 2 years in New York. And then went back to New York after that. And again, practiced sporadically. When I was in the UK for just over a year, I practiced once a week close by to where I was living at the time, where I grew up. Not where I originally learned Aikido, which was in the West Midlands in Wolverhampton. Excuse me. And then coming back to New York, and then it was a little bit sporadic then until about 2014. and then went regular again, and now it's been regular since then. And I lived in New York for 10 years, and then moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where I live now, 2 years ago. So I moved here in 2021, and I've been practicing here for about a year and a half. And that's pretty good. And I practice with somebody or an organization. There's different organizations in Aikido who were taught by different people originally. So that determines what style they teach. And some people favor weapons more, because Aikido is a complete style. You have the body art, the taijutsu, and then you have the weapon art, which is part of the Aikido curriculum. So you use the wooden sword, which represents the katana, the samurai sword. People call it a jo, which represents a spear, which is a wooden staff, and a tanto, which is a Japanese dagger, and all made of wood, obviously. So yeah, you learn all that, and I learned all that from the beginning. I learned all that from literally from the beginning. So some schools won't teach you weapons until you sometimes get to Dan grade, till you get halfway to Dan grade. And when I say Dan grade, I mean 1st degree black belt. So that doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you not teach weapons, which is part of that system? Because Aikido evolved from armed warriors with swords. So it was really designed for the the empty-handed techniques was designed for when you lost a weapon and you were still able to then fight on the battlefield. And lots of different variations of that. So that was, a great help to learn the weapons. So I never understood why you wouldn't be taught weapons from the beginning. So yeah, so that was my kind of journey with Aikido, and in the next video I'll get into why, more on the why of Aikido, what Aikido is, and how it's kind of helped me with my life, physically, mentally, and all of those kind of things. So yeah, look forward to seeing you in the next video, and we'll talk more on Aikido. Ciao for now.